guys, and welcome to another video. This is going to be on both the Wheel of Fate and the new statue hard mode stuff. Just because some people are confused about it, I'm going to squish both of these into one video because I want to get this video out today. So first we're going to talk about the Wheel of Fate. Haven't had a fart in a video in a while. First we're going to talk about the Wheel of Fate, and then we're going to talk about the other. There's some things that are almost certainly going to change about the Wheel of Fate because currently there's some issues with the boss being significantly stronger than what people are able to do at their level, but I'm sure they're going to work on that because they're well aware of it. But yeah, let's get into this thing and then learn some stuff. Okay, so let's start here with the Wheel of Fate. Now, the primary goal of the Wheel of Fate is to find this person on the map, Fortuna, so you can do the unique synthesis. We're going to get to that in a second, but let's start with the actual interface. There are three different kinds of nodes. Okay, there are these circle ones, which are regular maps that you do like the previous dailies. You select which one. You can start from any of these outer ones. You select it, and it will give you a nation, and you run 2 maps for that area, and then it will let you move on to the next one, obviously to the connected ones. And again, the goal is to find her inside of a map, and we're going to get more about that as we go on, but that's the goal here. So in this case, she's here. We're going to start here or here and try to get to her. The other 2 things, and the things that are important, so the first one is these star-looking nodes. They are going to be a timed map where you have to kill a bunch of bosses. And if you do, as you kill them, you're going to get the fissure fragments. The fissure fragments are used for the synthesis thing. They are important. You always want to hit one of these at the start if you can. The other place to get a decent amount of fissure fragments is to fight the boss in the middle. That's all he drops, is fissure fragments. There's no super importance right now to getting to the center of the map and fighting the boss. What I've been doing is running these, getting as many of the fissure fragments as I can, trying to hit the Fortuna, and if I can't, I reset the map. There doesn't seem to be much of a reason to do more in the map from what I've seen, and again, this is all to be taken with a grain of salt because this is literally day 2 information. Things will change. I know they're going to be adjusting the difficulty of the boss center thing, or not difficulty, but the way it scales because people are having trouble beating it and it's too difficult and it's supposed to just be a daily thing. So there's that. Okay, so let's break this down again. The important stuff here, you start from these outer things. You are trying to get to Fortuna, but there's no point to getting to her unless you have a bunch of fissure fragments. And part 2, the at least 6 uniques. Now, they don't have to be on you. You can get them from your storage. I'm going to get to that when I get to that section. But getting to her without uniques or without fissure fragments is pointless. So there's no reason to force yourself to get to her unless you get fissure fragments first. Again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start on either this spot or this spot. I'm going to go to the star spot so I can get some fissure fragments, and then I'm going to follow her and try to get her, okay? I'm going to break this video into pieces. As for the rest of the spots, it's not super important. The rewards themselves are not super great, okay? As you go through them, down here it's going to have your total accumulated reward. When you get to the center and kill the boss, you can collect all of the stuff. But unless you get something really good, resetting the map and not worrying about killing the boss is just as good. Okay, and I'll show you why when I get to the thing. So right now, I'm just going to break away really quick and do a couple things, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to move on to the next section. Okay, so we did our first area, and she hasn't moved. Now, she can randomly move, which can really screw things up, but there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's completely random. Anyway, so we're going to do one of these time-related nodes so that we can get some fissure fragments, as well as so I can just show you guys what it's like. Here we go. So these are very fast, straight line. You don't have to worry about killing a certain amount of enemies or anything. You just need to get to the boss dudes and kill them as quickly as possible. If you have a lot of speed or movement skills, these won't be a problem. Now you'll see, I'm going to stop for this one just for a second. You'll see you get quite a few fissure fragments. I got, what was it, 10 fissure fragments from that one. I think maybe it's 10 every time you kill one of these boss ones. Let's see. No, it's more. It's random, but you get quite a few. And you only need 10 to do a synthesis. So moving through this, if you get through all of them, you'll come out with a lot. Like, I'll show you when I'm done how many we ended up with total. Hi, Stan. You're very cute. Now, if you're a little bit slower, I know with my seasonal character, I'm barely getting through in time. Obviously, there's a big difference between my seasonal character and my standard here. Banana Cat's not turbo speed yet. But one of these should settle you for fissure fragments for a while, and then you won't have to worry about doing this every time. Really gonna... Wow, I got a lot out of that one. So there you go. That was the whole thing. Minute 10. Killed all the dudes. That's the whole map. There's nothing else. There's no boss or anything. And when we come out, we'll take a look here and see how many fissure fragments we got. Hi, Statler. Hello. Can you block the whole screen with your furry butt? Can you get out of the way? Man. There, hold on. They gotta be in one of these things, right? There they are. I got 99 fissure fragments out of that, which means I can do 9 synthesis. Now, again, I already talked about the other part, but the other part, and this is an important thing to note, is you're going to need 6 uniques every time you want to do it. So what I'm going to be doing... I used them all. So what I'm going to be doing is every time I do a map, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to store a bunch of uniques. Now, if you're trying to focus farm a particular unique, there are different tiers, and you'll see when I get to the thing. But for now, what it is worth is tier 31 through 34 uniques all count for the same. And because of that, all you're going to really want to store is 31 through 34 uniques. The rest of them aren't going to be valuable to you unless you, again, are specifically looking for certain uniques, and I'll talk about that when I actually get to the synthesis. So there we go. I stored those. I got through the time thing. I'll see you when we get to the synthesis. Okay, so now we've moved to the next area, and she is still where she was, which is great. So that means I'm going to start this mission. Okay, and now I'm on the same spot as her. So when I run this straw map, somewhere in that map, you're going to find Fortuna. And then you can do synthesis, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so now we're in the map here, and we found Fortuna. She's denoted by this little, what are they called? Steering wheel, hextant. I don't even know what they're called. But there she is, the astrologer. So when we click on her, we're going to bring up this interface. Really straightforward to understand interface. You're going to use uniques, and as you put them in, it's going to change the item tiers percentages. Okay, so these are the base percentages. And if I put in a 34, the 31 to 35 category will go up. If I put in something lower, a 26, then the 26 to 30 will go up. So ideally, you can aim for the stuff that you want. What is going to show up in these? You can take a look at the list. It is every item that is a unique between 31 and 35. So people say, oh, it's impossible to get the Transcendence. It's an equal chance to get anything between 31 and 35. Yes, it might be a low chance to get a Transcendent, but it's better than nothing. It gives you something to work towards. In my opinion, I really like this system. So we're going to do this here. Now, as I had previously said, I like to store all of my extra 31 through 34s, okay, in my storage, and then I'm going to pull them all out so I can use them. Go. Okay. Now, I've had people say, oh, it's a pain to find her to do it again. You can do it as many times as you have uniques to use. So in this case, I'm going to go boom, Okay. We're in 61% chance that we'll get a 31 to 35. We're going to hit the button, and we got a 31. Okay, land a blessing. Receive it. Okay, now we can go again because I have enough of these. And keep in mind, there's a $300,000 gold cost, which I know isn't a huge amount, but still it's there. So 31 to 35s. Bam. Hit it. We got the lowest possible chance. We got a joyful sunset. That's fine. I don't care. Okay, and we've got 5 31 through 34s, but we only have 30s from here. That's fine. Okay. Bam. 17. Now, I could keep going, and since I got nothing better going on, I'm going to. There are a few lower tier things that I'm looking for, and I just don't have them, so we're going to do it. But really, at this point, it's just a waste of my currency, because the only things I'm really missing are these high-end transcendence and stuff. Now, you could do this again as many times as you have uniques, so as you are playing the game, devote at least a storage tab to nothing but 31 through 35 uniques. There's not really much of a purpose. You can, again, you could do this, and there's still a 5.2% chance I'm going to get a 31 through 35. It's just low. If you have a ton of the, what are they called? The fissure fragments, you can do this as many times as you want. And if I hit 31 through 35s, I'll store them, and the rest will just go, I'll go through them and try to get 31 through 35s so that I can hit these. Now, again, you can do this as many times as you want. It's not a big deal. There you go. So that was it. I didn't receive anything good through my efforts, but that is the system. There you go. It's really straightforward. It's, in my opinion, it gives us something else to aim towards rather than just hoping a Transcendent will drop. It gives access for lower tier players who are getting, like, again, 31s and can't get into the really hard content to get the 34s as often. This will give you a chance to get those tier 34s that you wouldn't have had before. So that's the whole this thing. Now we're going to go into the other section, and I'm going to talk quickly about the new hard mode. Okay, the new Chaos Statue hard mode setup, because people are confused by this. It's actually a really good system, and what they've basically done is make hard mode accessible at a much lower level of difficulty so that you can gain the advantages of playing on hard mode without having to get wrecked. I know a lot of people have trouble getting to hard mode, and this lets them access those things without having to be as nuts about the game. The big advantage here is that you can gain the bonus rewards from from legendary maps, because if you don't know, legendary maps have an additional reward if you finish a challenge. So a lot of people weren't ever able to take advantage of this because they couldn't get to hard mode. So now hard mode starts at a much lower level, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's use a just regular tier 10 map here. So if you're playing on normal mode and you get to statue 20, now up to statue 20, you can only go to growth level 10 on a normal map. Once you hit statue 20, you can go higher. And once you can do statue 21, you can hit this difficulty thing and go to hard mode. So now you're on hard mode, but it's much, much lower than the previous hard mode was. This is equivalent to 160, except hard mode. So it's going to have the disadvantages of having the hard mode modifiers on a map. Okay, so if you've never played hard mode, you're going to be given a curse of some sort and a removal of an immunity. So the curse varies wildly depending what it is. There's the important ones that you need to really worry about are things like Curse of Power, drastically brings down your DPS. Curse of Weakness nukes a bunch of your resistances and defenses, so you're going to be more likely to die. And Curse of Speed is going to slow you down drastically. The other mods are obviously just additional difficulty added to it. And if you're doing a legendary, you'll get the bonus rewards. There's also an increased item drop chance and things for playing on hard mode, which is why they wanted to make it accessible at a lower level. It goes all the way up to, what is it, plus 40? And for people that are wondering about difficulties, because I've already been asked this a couple of times, what's hard 0? Because they're trying to compare it to what we were doing last season. So 36, hard mode 36, is equivalent to hard 0, hard 1, somewhere in there. And then they go up from there. Now, it's not quite exactly the same because you have to factor in that the enemies are now 5 levels higher, so there's that much more. Your miss rate, your crit rate, and things like that are going to get affected. But that's more or less what that is. Anyways, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you have any content in the game that I haven't got videos on or that you think needs updates, let me know. I promise I'm going to be putting out as much content as I can to keep up with the new stuff. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, get out there and enjoy Season 8, and I'll see you in Saludo.